So let me ask you this question. Lots of thermal imaging cameras out there today, right? Some of them have been around a little too long. This was Frontline 3 years ago in West Virginia. Thor would hold this and say, ugh, this is heavy. This is a black and white TV on a stick. This is a Bullard MX. It's 21 years old in a new $500,000 fire truck. You can buy this device for around $3,000, and I hear the words, we can't afford it. You're in a $500,000 to $1 million fire truck, and we see fire departments not replacing these. Per the U.S. Fire Administration, 70% of America only had one thermal imaging camera on the fire ground in 2015. That meant 9,000 fire departments did not have one. This problem is bigger than you think. So I got some questions for you, because you got different departments in the room, not just Dallas represented today, right? Does your department have a TIC training program? Do you have written policies that address said training? Do you address the training requirements for it? Who shall carry it? How they'll do things on certain incidents? Do you address this annually in competency in classroom, hands-on, live fire? Do you provide training on the device before it is placed into service? Why? The only training standard in existence use words such as shall. NFPA 1408, the thermal imaging training standard, says a TI training program shall be implemented. The authority shall establish written policies. The policy shall address training requirements. The training policy shall include an annual review of member competence. And TI training shall include practical evolutions using TI, and it continues on and on with you shall do this. In other words, you shall not put this on the truck unless you have trained your members on how to use it and have written policies on it and review it annually. You know, 40% of the fire service didn't even know that training standard exists because they think NFPA stands for not for practical application until you go to court and they say the following. You went to a working fire with a kid trapped. You deploy without hesitation. The mom's in the front yard screaming, my daughter's in that back bedroom right there. That is a targeted search, not a primary search. You're going right to it. You bring said child out. Sadly, the child passes away. 6 months later, a lawyer shows up and says, here's your subpoena, be in court on this date. He takes your thermal imaging camera as evidence. You go to court, and the first thing you see is a mom with burns on her arm where she stuck her own arm through the window to get her child. And says, she stands up and says, my tax dollars paid for this device. My tax dollars paid for the training for this device. And the research behind it, data-driven, shows that Boston, FDNY, and Chicago all rescued the victim 70% faster when they used it, but they missed the victim 60% of the time when they didn't. My daughter should be alive today. You ever heard of preponderance of evidence? It means if you're a little bit wrong, you're wrong. In civil court, that's enough to get you. You're done. This is where we're heading, because we don't even read our own rules.